Imagine a world transformed not by slow, creeping change over eons, but by a sudden, colossal shift, unfolding with terrifying speed. The oceans, vast and mighty, begin to recede from our shores. Water levels plummet downwards, a relentless, shocking descent. Not by a mere few meters, a change easily dismissed or adapted to, but by an astounding 1,000 meters, a full vertical kilometer. A kilometer of ocean water vanishing from sight, from existence as we know it. This is not a gentle ebb tide, a predictable rhythm of nature. It is a dramatic, unthinkable plunge into an alien new reality. The blue heart of our planet shrinks, exposing what was hidden. Our Earth is a water world, a familiar blue marble, suspended in space. Oceans cover over 70% of its precious surface area. They dictate our weather systems, our global climate, our very lives. They are deep, profoundly mysterious, and still largely unexplored by humankind. Think of the tallest skyscrapers man has ever built, reaching for the clouds. Now stack several of them, one on top of the other, in your mind. That is the sheer depth of water we are speaking of, vanishing abruptly. 1,000 meters is a chasm, a void previously filled with teeming life. This immense volume of water gone. Where could it possibly go? How could it disappear so completely, defying all known natural laws? Beneath the restless waves lies a hidden world, a secret geography. A world unseen by human eyes for countless millennia, perhaps forever. Vast abyssal plains, towering submerged mountain ranges, deep oceanic trenches, all are currently shrouded in the perpetual darkness of the deep sea. Ancient coastlines, long drowned by rising waters of ages past, wait silently. The continental shelves, sloping gently away from our present-day shores, are just the prelude. What unimaginable landscapes lie beyond them in the true deeps? This cataclysmic drop would violently pull back the oceanic curtain. It would reveal the true, raw, unweathered face of our planet's solid surface. The sheer scale of this global unveiling is almost beyond human comprehension. So let us dare to ask the profound, unsettling question: what if this almost unimaginable event truly happened to our world? What if the sea levels all across the globe genuinely dropped by 1,000 meters? How would our world, the Earth we thought we knew so intimately, transform? This is not just a geological curiosity, a mere thought experiment for scientists. It is a scenario that forces us to confront the very limits of our understanding. It fundamentally challenges our perception of the planet we call home. Join us now on an extraordinary and perhaps terrifying journey of discovery. The first and most immediate global change would be profoundly visual. Our familiar world map would become instantly obsolete. Coastlines would retreat dramatically, redrawing nations and continents. In some regions, the sea might pull back by mere kilometers. In others, by hundreds of kilometers. New land would emerge, raw and unfamiliar. Islands would expand, perhaps merging with the mainland. Peninsulas would stretch out like fingers into distant waters. New islands might pierce the surface. This transformation extends beyond surface geography. The planet's interconnected systems would reel from the shock. Global weather patterns would be thrown into chaos. Ocean currents would be altered. Rainfall distribution would shift unpredictably. Vast new deserts might form on exposed seabeds. Some arid areas might receive unexpected moisture. The global climate would cease to exist as we know it. A new, harsh environmental equilibrium would struggle to assert itself. Humanity scattered across this changing planet would face immense challenges. Our great civilizations are built along coastlines. Our major ports and cities depend on the sea. These hubs would be kilometers inland, high and dry. How would societies adapt to such a rapid shift? Where would displaced populations go? The newly exposed lands would offer vast territories, but would these barren expanses be habitable? What resources would they hold for humanity? This new world presents immense challenges, but perhaps it also offers unforeseen opportunities. This exploration is more than a flight of geological fancy. It is a crucial mental voyage into our world. It is a what-if scenario that pushes our imagination. By considering such an event, we can learn so much. We learn about Earth's hidden structures and history. We learn about the balance of its climate systems. We learn about our species' resilience or fragility. Prepare for a journey unlike any other. Witness the turbulent birth of a new Earth. The moment the waters recede, a new world begins its stark emergence. Imagine standing on what was once a familiar beach, a known coastline. Now, the sea is a distant rumor far beyond the horizon's new edge. Before you stretches a vast alien expanse, previously hidden beneath the waves. This is the continental shelf, the gentle slope now laid bare to the sky. Kilometer after kilometer of fresh, raw land unfurls with shocking speed. The world's land area increases dramatically, a sudden, colossal gift of territory. But this gift is strange, unwelcoming, and profoundly unsettling to behold. It is a ghostly frontier, born from the ocean's impossible retreat. A silent, empty landscape where vibrant marine ecosystems once thrived. This newly exposed terrain is unlike anything humankind has ever witnessed on such a scale. It is not fertile soil, ready for the plow, or welcoming forests. Instead, it is a landscape of saturated mud, vast salt flats, and drying seabeds. The smell of salt and decaying marine life would hang heavy in the air. Countless sea creatures stranded by the retreating waters would litter these new plains. Their forms would quickly desiccate under the sun, a grim testament to the change. Rivers would carve new, desperate paths across this virgin territory to meet the distant sea. The initial appearance would be one of utter desolation, a watery grave now exposed. How long would it take for terrestrial life to claim these barren expanses? What strange ecosystems might eventually arise from this salty, sodden earth? Consider the sheer, mind-boggling scale of this global unveiling. The continental shelves of our planet are immense, covering millions of square kilometers. In places like the Siberian Arctic Shelf or the Sunda Shelf in Southeast Asia, the land exposed would stretch for hundreds, even thousands, of kilometers. New land bridges would suddenly connect islands to mainlands, rewriting maps. Great Britain might once again become a peninsula of Europe, as it was in ages past. Australia could find itself linked to Papua New Guinea, creating a new supercontinent. The shallow Bering Strait would become a wide exposed land bridge connecting continents. These are not subtle shifts, they are fundamental reconfigurations of Earth's geography. The political and ecological implications of such connections are almost unimaginable. The psychological impact on humanity would be equally profound and deeply disorienting. Familiar landmarks would vanish, replaced by an endless, featureless plain. Coastal communities would find themselves stranded miles from the new receding shoreline. The very concept of coastal would need to be redefined across the globe. Sailors would navigate new, treacherous shallows where deep ocean once lay. the rhythm of tides, a constant in human experience, would change drastically. This emergence of lost frontiers is more than a geographical event. It is a sudden, violent reshaping of our perception of the planet. It forces us to confront a world stripped bare, its hidden skeleton revealed. A world that feels both ancient and terrifyingly, starkly new. Beyond the vast newly exposed continental shelves, even more dramatic transformations await. Deep beneath the ocean's surface lie colossal mountain ranges hidden from our sight. The mid-ocean ridge system, Earth's longest mountain chain, snakes around the globe. With a sea level drop of 1,000 meters, many of these features would breach the surface. They would emerge as entirely new mountain ranges and archipelagos of islands. These are mountains born not of slow tectonic uplift, but of the ocean's sudden absence. The appearance of these new mountains would be utterly alien and breathtaking. The Earth's surface is reborn dramatically, violently, and irrevocably. The draining of the oceans would reveal mountains and carve new depths. Submarine canyons vaster than the Grand Canyon, etched into continental slopes. Carved by ancient rivers or turbidity currents, these canyons become colossal dry gorges. Imagine the Hudson Canyon or Monterey Canyon transformed into breathtaking valleys. Rivers would flow through these ancient paths, cascading down to the lowered sea. Exposed canyons offer dramatic, almost terrifying new landscapes. The receding waters unveil echoes of a distant, icy past. Prehistoric settlements, once coastal, now lie deep underwater. These sites, preserved by the sea, could become accessible on dry land. The exposed continental shelves are ancient landscapes, shaped by different forces. The drop in sea level peels back a layer of the planet's memory. It reveals a world that existed before, hinted at in geological records. The very face of our planet would be redrawn almost beyond recognition. Familiar outlines of continents would simply cease to exist. Vast areas of shallow sea would vanish completely. They would become immense, dry plains, connecting lands once separated by water. The United Kingdom would fuse with mainland Europe. Its coasts would march outwards for hundreds of kilometers. Australia might see its northern shores stretch to meet Papua New Guinea. The Mediterranean Sea would dramatically shrink and fragment. Its deeper basins might become isolated hypersaline lakes. The world map would require a total, radical reinvention. The most striking features of this new global map would be the land bridges. These are not narrow causeways, but vast expanses of newly exposed seabed. They would connect land masses previously separated by impassable stretches of ocean. The Bering Land Bridge, once a vital corridor for ancient migrations, would reappear. It would once again physically link Asia and North America across the Bering Strait. This vast plain, wider than ever before, would span hundreds of kilometers. Imagine the ecological implications. Animals could once more roam between continents. Perhaps even human populations, if any survived, might seek new territories. This single connection would rewrite the biogeography of two vast continents. A pathway frozen in time, now dramatically reopened by the ocean's retreat. Other monumental land bridges would also emerge across the globe. As mentioned, Great Britain would become a peninsula of northwestern Europe. the English Channel and much of the North Sea would become dry land. This would recreate a connection that existed during the last ice age. The historical and cultural implications are profound, a return to an ancient geography. Similarly, Japan might see its islands connect to the Asian mainland. The Sea of Japan could shrink, its waters receding to reveal new terrestrial links. In Southeast Asia, the Sunda Shelf's exposure would be transformative. Sumatra, Java, Borneo, and the Malay Peninsula would fuse into a single landmass. This new subcontinent, Sunderland reborn, would be a tropical giant. These new connections would have profound consequences for global ecosystems. Species long isolated on islands or separate continents could now interact. This could lead to new waves of competition, predation, and interbreeding. The relatively rapid formation of these bridges would offer little time for adaptation. Some ecosystems might collapse, while entirely new ones would struggle to form. The flow of ocean currents, squeezed through narrower channels or blocked entirely, would shift. This would further exacerbate the climatic chaos gripping the planet. The land bridges are not just geographical curiosities, they are agents of immense change. They are conduits for life, but also potential vectors for ecological disruption. The very balance of nature across continents would be irrevocably altered. The geopolitical landscape would be thrown into turmoil by these new connections. Nations previously separated by sea would now share land borders. Strategic choke points like the Strait of Gibraltar or the Suez Canal would be transformed. Gibraltar might become a narrow, deep river valley, the Mediterranean a series of lakes. The Suez Canal would be a dry ditch in a vast desert. Its purpose gone. Control of these new land bridges could become a source of conflict. They would offer new routes for trade, migration, or military movement. The old world order based on maritime power and existing borders would crumble. Humanity would face the challenge of navigating a world suddenly physically rewired. Ancient connections remade by the falling sea, forging a new, uncertain future. Section 3. Rivers reborn, coastlines in chaos. The world's great rivers would embark on a dramatic new journey to the sea. Their mouths, once at the familiar coastline, would now be far inland. They would have to carve new channels across the exposed continental shelves. These extended rivers would flow for hundreds, even thousands of additional kilometers. Imagine the Amazon, the Nile, the Mississippi extending their mighty reach. They would incise deep valleys into the soft sediments of the former seabed. New deltas would begin to form at the distant lowered ocean edge. The freshwater discharge into the oceans would become more concentrated in these new river mouths. This could impact salinity and circulation in the remaining coastal waters. The lifeblood of continents, their rivers, would be fundamentally re-engineered. As rivers cross the newly exposed land, spectacular geological features might form, where they encounter the steep drop of the former continental slope. They could create colossal waterfalls, plunging a kilometer down to the new sea level. Or these would be cataracts on a scale never before witnessed by human eyes. The roar of such falls would be immense, their spray creating unique microclimates. In other areas, rivers might reactivate ancient buried channels from past low sea stands. These paleochannels would guide their new courses across the exposed plains. The sediment load carried by these extended rivers would be enormous. This material, eroded from the new lands, would be deposited into the deep ocean basins. A new cycle of erosion and deposition, accelerated and dramatically altered. The impact on existing coastal ecosystems would be nothing short of catastrophic. Mangrove forests, salt marshes and estuaries would be left high and dry. These incredibly productive environments, nurseries for countless marine species, would perish. Coral reefs, if not exposed directly, would face drastically changed conditions. Light penetration, water temperature and salinity would all shift beyond their tolerance. The intricate web of life supported by these coastal habitats would unravel. The loss of these ecosystems would have cascading effects throughout marine food chains. It would also mean the loss of natural coastal defenses against storms. Though with the sea so far distant, storm surge might be a lesser concern. The immediate aftermath would be one of widespread ecological collapse along old shores. On the newly exposed lands, a slow, arduous process of colonization would begin. Initially, these areas would be barren, salty, and windswept. Pioneer species, salt-tolerant grasses, and hardy shrubs might be the first to arrive. Over decades, perhaps centuries, new ecosystems could start to develop. The nature of these ecosystems would depend on the new climate patterns. Some areas might become vast grasslands, others arid deserts or scrublands. The extended river courses would create ribbons of life across these new plains. Freshwater marshes and riparian forests could eventually flourish along their banks. But the transition from desolate seabed to thriving terrestrial habitat would be long. This new Earth presents a harsh canvas, awaiting life's resilient, patient artistry. Section 1. The Great Displacement, Societies in Upheaval. The initial shockwave to human civilization would be catastrophic, immediate and absolute. Our world, so intricately woven around coastlines, would unravel with terrifying speed. Great port cities, the bustling hearts of commerce and culture, would become stranded relics. London, New York, Tokyo, Shanghai, now dusty inland towns kilometers from any water. Their purpose, their lifelines, severed in an instant by the retreating ocean. Millions, if not billions, of people would be uprooted, a tide of humanity forced inland. This vast internal migration would overwhelm any existing infrastructure or support systems. The carefully constructed edifice of global society would tremble and then begin to collapse. All familiar norms, all established orders would face an unprecedented existential test. The world as we knew it would simply cease to be, replaced by a terrifying new reality. Panic would be the first inevitable contagion, spreading faster than any disease. The search for fresh water would become the paramount, desperate obsession for survivors. Rivers would be extending, yes, but their lower reaches on new land might be brackish. Old wells near former coasts might dry up or become contaminated by saltwater intrusion. Food distribution networks reliant on ports and stable agriculture would disintegrate completely. Starvation and thirst would become the grim specters haunting these displaced populations. Governments, if they still functioned, would be utterly overwhelmed, their resources inadequate. Law and order would likely break down in many areas under such immense pressure. The very fabric of community, of society, would be stretched to its breaking point. Humanity would be thrown back to its most basic instincts, survival at any cost. The economic consequences would be beyond measure, a total global financial implosion. Trillions of dollars in coastal property and infrastructure would become worthless overnight. Global shipping, the lifeblood of international trade, would cease to exist in its known form. Industries reliant on sea access, fishing, tourism, offshore energy would be obliterated. Stock markets would evaporate, currencies would lose all meaning in a world of scarcity. The complex chains of supply and demand that underpin modern life would shatter. This is not a recession or a depression, it is an economic apocalypse. Wealth, as previously understood, would become an abstract, irrelevant concept. The new currency would be potable water, edible food, and defensible shelter. Societies would be forced to redefine value from the ground up amidst the ruins. The psychological toll on the survivors would be immense, a trauma etched onto their souls. Imagine witnessing the ocean, a constant and powerful presence, simply vanish. The sheer impossibility of the event would challenge sanity itself. Landmarks gone, horizons altered, the familiar world rendered alien and hostile. A profound sense of loss, grief and disorientation would grip humanity. The future, once a canvas of hopes and dreams, would become a terrifying unknown. Established beliefs and worldviews might crumble under the weight of this new reality. How would people make sense of such a cataclysm? Who or what could be blamed? The struggle to maintain hope, to find meaning in the desolation, would be monumental. This great displacement is not just physical, it is a displacement of the human spirit. Section 2. Forging New Lives. Challenges on barren shores. The newly exposed lands offer no easy sanctuary. Harsh, alien environments await settlers. Salt-saturated ground makes farming difficult, and muddy expanses trap the unwary. Unstable slopes could collapse. Geological instability causes tremors. No topsoil, no ecosystems. Sterile landscape, devoid of resources. Decaying marine matter creates noxious zones. Colonizing this world is deeply challenging. Establishing agriculture is monumental. Desalination is essential but slow. Salt-tolerant crops are critical, freshwater sources are fiercely contested, irrigation systems must be built, climate is unpredictable, dust storms are frequent, storms bury crops, hinder breathing, early farming faces failures, securing food is a defining struggle, competition leads to conflict, river mouths are highly contested, nations might clash over frontiers, smaller groups struggle to defend claims, key resources are concentrated, scarcity breeds desperation, new power structures emerge, survival fosters cooperation and competition, existential pressures reveal humanity's darker impulses, new dangers lurk beyond immediate needs, exposed seabed releases methane gas, unknown microbes pose novel threats to human, animal and plant health. Extreme weather events occur. Ferocious storms lash coastlines. Navigating terrain is perilous. Wildlife becomes more aggressive. Every step is fraught with unknowns. Survival demands vigilance and resilience. Amidst challenges, glimmers of opportunity emerge. Exposed continental shelves hold untold mineral wealth. Oil, gas, and ores. Once deep, now reachable. Seabed mining becomes surface mining. Managed resources could rebuild communities, archaeological treasures and shipwrecks unveiled. Discoveries offer knowledge, informing future choices. Scientific insights from this transformed Earth are immense. New understanding of geology and oceanography arises. New or rediscovered technologies are crucial. Decentralized energy production, focusing on solar or wind, is vital. Water purification and desalination become paramount. Construction methods using local materials evolve. New forms of agriculture like hydroponics develop. Independent communication systems are established. Focus shifts to resilient local solutions. Human ingenuity, spurred by necessity, is powerful. Survivors innovate, adapt, and reinvent constantly. Hardship becomes a crucible for technological advancement. New societal structures form from the old world. Large nations give way to adaptable communities. New settlements form around resource-rich areas. Leadership falls to those with practical skills. Survival depends on cooperation and strong bonds. New cultures arise shaped by shared experiences. Myths and values reflect trauma and triumph. Greater appreciation for the planet emerges. Lessons of catastrophe are carried in memory. A more sustainable relationship with Earth develops. This world poses profound questions to humanity. What is our place on a rapidly changing planet? Human dominance over nature is shattered. A new humility and respect for Earth's power take root. Focus shifts to long-term survival. Progress is re-evaluated. Can humanity build a more enduring civilization, or will the cycle of conflict repeat? New civilization seeds are sown in harsh landscapes. Growth depends on survivors' wisdom and resilience. This scenario is truly extreme. A 1,000-meter drop in sea level is vast. Normal climate shifts do not explain such a change. This event is far beyond our usual understanding. It completely defies simple, easy explanations. We must, therefore, think bigger, much bigger. What incredible force could possibly achieve this? How could so much water effectively disappear? Let us first consider relatively small sea level changes. Thermal contraction of water makes sea levels fall slightly. Small ice caps growing can also contribute a little. But these are truly tiny, almost insignificant effects. They account for mere meters, not a full kilometer. 1,000 meters represents a fundamental difference. It signifies a colossal, almost unimaginable loss of water. The ocean's vastness itself seems diminished by this. Where could all this missing water actually go? It cannot simply vanish into thin air. The laws of physics do not allow such a thing. Did it perhaps freeze on an unprecedented massive scale? Or was it somehow displaced from the ocean basins? The ocean basins themselves might have changed shape. Their fundamental structure could have been altered. This is a key thought in our investigation. We are looking for extraordinary powerful causes. Perhaps ancient, forgotten geological events hold clues, or maybe something even more speculative, more cosmic. Climate science, as we know it, struggles here. This scale of sea level drop enters new territory. It is a realm of profound planetary change. What theories can we possibly explore to explain it? The mystery deepens with every considered option. Our Earth has certainly experienced ice ages in its past. Great thick ice sheets once covered vast continents. These enormous glaciers locked up immense amounts of ocean water. Global sea levels fell quite significantly during those times. This is a well-known and well-documented geological mechanism. We have clear, undeniable evidence of this natural process. Ancient submerged shorelines provide proof of these lower seas. These remnants tell a story of a colder, icier world. The last glacial maximum serves as a prime example. During this period, sea levels dropped by about 120 meters. Some scientific estimates suggest it was up to 130 meters. This is indeed a substantial amount of missing water. However, it is still very far from 1,000 meters. It is not even close to the scenario we are exploring. Our imagined sea level drop is vastly, dramatically larger. The scale of water removal is many times greater. To lose 1,000 meters of sea level to ice alone. Imagine the truly staggering volume of ice that would require. Ice sheets kilometers thick across many continents. This would mean far more ice than in any known ice age. A truly global, pervasive, deep freeze would be necessary. Could the Earth ever actually become that intensely cold? What extraordinary celestial or terrestrial event could cause such cold? The implications for all life would be severe. This hypothesized super ice age needs extreme, prolonged cooling. It would have to last for a very, very long time. Such intensely frigid conditions would be incredibly harsh. Most forms of complex life might not possibly survive it. It is a stark, desolate, and deeply frozen possibility. Our planet would be encased in incredibly thick layers of ice, an almost unrecognizable alien and silent white Earth. The oceans themselves might freeze over in many places. What if the solid Earth, its very crust, moved dramatically? The vast ocean floor itself could potentially change its shape. Imagine immense sections of it suddenly sinking much deeper. This would significantly increase the ocean basin's total volume. The existing ocean water would then fill this new, deeper space. Global sea levels would then, as a consequence, drop everywhere. This is a mechanism of geological basin alteration. It involves fundamental changes to the planet's structure. Such massive tectonic events are usually incredibly slow processes. The movement of tectonic plates typically takes millions of years. For a 1,000-meter drop to occur rapidly, speed is essential. It would require a swift, almost synchronized global tectonic shift. This kind of event is highly unusual, almost unheard of. It has not been seen in recent Earth geological history. What immense force could possibly trigger such a rapid change? The energy required would be truly astronomical. Perhaps we must consider an even more extreme external cause. Could a colossal asteroid impact be responsible for this? Could such an impact blast vast quantities of water into space? Or could it trigger those massive rapid geological changes? These are extreme, almost science fiction, cosmic ideas. They stretch the very limits of our scientific understanding. The Earth is resilient, but such events are transformative. We are venturing into the realm of planetary catastrophe. A 1,000-meter sea level drop is truly vast and profound. It fundamentally challenges all known scientific explanations. No single, simple, or easy answer currently exists for it. It likely requires a singular, unimaginable catastrophe to occur, or perhaps a complex series of linked, devastating disasters. Our scenario therefore remains deeply and intentionally speculative. It serves as a thought experiment about Earth's ultimate limits. It pushes us to consider the unimaginable scope of planetary change. Our planet's history is rich with dramatic geographical transformations. These are not mere fables, but events etched into the Earth's deep memory. Ancient cultures worldwide tell stories of great floods, of lands lost to the sea. These tales might be echoes of genuine catastrophic landscape alterations. The Earth has always been a dynamic, restless, and evolving stage. Its surface is not fixed, but a canvas constantly being repainted by nature. These past events serve as powerful reminders of its transformative capacity. The Earth's past reveals periods when vast land bridges emerged. During ice ages, water locked in ice sheets caused sea levels to fall. Beringia connected Asia and North America, allowing migrations. Melting ice sheets raised sea levels, submerging these bridges. Earth's geography is in constant flux, shaped by natural forces. Our journey through a world transformed by a 1,000-meter sea level drop concludes, "We have traversed landscapes both alien and hauntingly familiar, yet fundamentally altered. This profound what-if scenario has peeled back the veneer of our planet's current stability. It has forced us to confront the raw dynamic power hidden beneath Earth's surface. The oceans, a symbol of constancy, were shown to be capable of dramatic retreat. This exploration reveals not just a changed geography, but a changed perspective. We see an Earth capable of transformations far beyond our daily experience. It is a planet of immense power, with a deep history of radical shifts. The world we know is but one fleeting moment in its vast geological saga. Our understanding of home must now embrace this inherent awesome impermanence. This thought experiment casts a stark light on humanity's relationship with its home. We are not separate from Earth. We are intrinsically, delicately linked to its systems. Our civilizations, our very survival, depend utterly on a stable environment. The familiar coastlines, the predictable tides, the current climate, these are precious gifts. They are the result of complex, balanced forces, not immutable constants. This scenario of radical change underscores our profound vulnerability as a species. It reminds us that the Earth does not exist solely for human convenience or exploitation. We are inhabitants, not masters, of this magnificent, ever-changing, celestial body. Our tenure here is conditional, dependent on respecting its intricate natural laws. The lessons gleaned from such an extreme vision resonate deeply with our present challenges. While a 1,000-meter drop is hypothetical, real climatic shifts are already underway. Our planet is indeed warming, and sea levels are observably, measurably rising. This imagined catastrophe amplifies the urgent need to understand these processes. We must comprehend the delicate balance of our climate, the consequences of its disruption. Protecting our environment is not an abstract ideal. It is a matter of survival. It is about safeguarding the conditions that allow human societies to flourish. The Earth has shown its capacity for change. Wisdom dictates we heed these signals. Our choices today will undoubtedly shape the coastlines and climates of tomorrow. Ultimately, contemplating such a transformed Earth fosters a deeper sense of humility. It encourages a profound respect for the immense forces that govern our planet. It compels us to consider the long-term consequences of our collective actions. This journey into the impossible serves a vital purpose for our present reality. It pushes us to value the stability we currently enjoy, to protect it diligently. The Earth will continue its grand geological narrative with or without us. Our challenge is to live wisely upon its surface as thoughtful, responsible stewards. The echo of this transformed world is a call to awareness, to action, to life. For the future of humanity is inextricably bound to the future of our Earth.